Alright, so this is the epilogue of Project Nephilim, Cosmic Orgasm, and the Strange Fate of Charles Thompson. Agent Smalls, after acquiring that fortune of gold and ancient relics, would grow out his beard and wear that pointed hat, and also yield the spear that was formerly his adversary's. It was also safe to say that he had found his calling in life and was now the one who would control the fate of humanity. God have mercy on us all. Hermberger continued living in his private section of the prison and occasionally indulged in the fine cuisine of organs from the recently deceased prisoners, which would be presented to him exclusively as they became available. Frank Burgess, along with the help of Bob's, the hippie shaman, Bob's lobbying from the revenue of his harvest, passed some legislation to further expand the legalization efforts of cannabis throughout the United States. And as Frank signed the bill, he enjoyed the fact that this was for a good cause and that a lit joint of some of Bob's homegrown was between his lips. Father O'Connor continued living in and helping run the convent of St. Sebastian's. He would spend his days reading and in deep thought, and as he enjoyed studying some of the most profound thinkers in history, he enjoyed some of the most profound, but unfortunately for, like Charles and the rest of the world, he would never learn of the truth behind who the devil truly is. Sorry, I spaced out there a little bit. Nikki went back to school and became a drug counselor. Katie, on the other hand, would grow up to become a street-walking prostitute and get infected with herpes, and later on down the road with HIV. The extraterrestrial women that left Brainsworth after his demise would go on bouncing from one billionaire to the next in an ongoing practice that has been taking place since the beginning of time: gold digging. The Wisconsin hick who beat Charles out of that $100,000 at the casino would continue on winning until he would one day experience major cardiac arrest from not taking care of his health and indulging in one too many complimentary casino buffets. The dealer had dealt him the four of a kind that beat Charles's full house would die from an unfortunate accident. Although he had a talent for presenting others with the luck of the draw, his would not be quite so. The Mexican drug lord would remain in witness protection and continue running his cartel with help from the feds. Until his dying day, he would live in luxury and excess. On his deathbed, he was quoted as saying, "At least I didn't eat the organs like the pinche gringos." No, I would. He would never be able to finish that sentence. The mortician would continue molesting deceased women's bodies as they came and went until one day he was caught in the act by the deceased woman's relatives. He was soon arrested and sent to prison. Once there, he would share the same fate as the former politicians and deputy director by consecutively being anal raped by long lines of angry Aryans with lightning bolt swastika tattoos, who mostly practiced the act of sodomy not because of its sensual pleasure, but because it made them feel like they were in control. The Satan's assholes continued riding their motorcycles and running their organization, and Chomper would continue latching his grip onto anyone's genitals who dared to cross a member of their club. The hobo from the airport would sadly never clean up his act and would continue panhandling in his pursuit to drown out the world one pint at a time. He was a hopeless soul. The Nephilim kids would eventually grow up to become the future leaders of this country. They would be groomed by our own government into positions of holding different political offices as they were originally meant to. Although they would be groomed to become cutthroat politicians, some of them would acquire things like a conscience. But as always, the money that would be lobbied to them would change any moral discretion they held opposing the unethical motives of big business. Thank you for listening.